Hello everyone, this is Sahamin and welcome to a new video. And I'm very excited to announce a new project. I'm going to start writing and illustrating my first children's book. I've been thinking of making a children's book for a number of years, but I was unsure when it would be the right time to start this project because I kept thinking like, your English is not good enough because you're Korean. Your illustration is not good enough. No one would care for you. No one. This is basically what I hear from my internal voice almost every day, especially when I go to bed, evenings or weekends. I often question myself if I'm allowed to have a just chill evening or a cozy, relaxing weekend because I work as a self-employed illustrator instead of finding a stable full-time job. I feel pretty guilty if I just sit and chill on the couch. Also, there are not many creative job opportunities in Adelaide, especially the position of just a graphic designer or an illustrator. I moved to Adelaide back in 2020 and I saw a job post that was looking for a full-time illustrator last July for the first time. There are a number of reasons why I started my YouTube channel, and one of the reasons is because I wanted to connect to the art community through online platforms and I wanted to build an opportunity to become an illustrator. Now, as I want to write, design, illustrate, edit, and probably edit again, and release a children's book, I'm so excited to extend my creative areas. The story that I want to tell in my first children's book is about cultural childhood memories in relation to food I used to enjoy back in Korea. So essentially it'll be based on my genuine experience and feeling while I'm living overseas. Hello to anyone who's new my channel. I grew up in South Korea and lived there until early 2018. As soon as I finished my degree in art, I flew to Sydney in Australia with a working holiday visa. When I was back home in Korea in 2019, I realized that I wanted to have more of international experience and decided to go back to Australia and had my partner's family who always happily greeted me. Now I'm living in South Australia as a permanent resident and a self-employed illustrator. While I'm living overseas, I have found out food is one of the popular things about Korea for international people, and I didn't realize how well known K-food it was until I moved abroad. And then I came up with an idea about illustrating a Korean food story where I can recommend a particular food that people don't know about much, but it is really good, and how much I miss it every single day. Obviously now I live very far away from my home country. It is not as easy to have a specific Korean dish as it used to be. I believe there are more than 100 Korean foods, and still Korea creates fun, interesting food because food industry in Korea is very competitive and the trend changes very quickly, like every 2 months. I know it will be very difficult to show every single dish in 32 pages. If I make the standard number of pages of children's book, I'll have to pick a few number of food that I really miss and that I really want to show in a story. The purpose of making this book is to tell my favorite food story to children, as well as I hope a few adults enjoy my story if they are living overseas or living back in their home, but sometimes miss the time when they were living in a different country. It'll be the most wonderful thing to hear if they feel a connection through my story. One day my book is alive. everyone, it is currently at 1 p.m. Last night I showed my partner my first draft. To be honest, I feel I get really extremely shy super easily, especially when I show my writing or tell a story to someone. But I really wanted to hear other people's thoughts and perspective before I walk further. In the first draft, basically it has my rough ideas and the direction of the story that I'm thinking. When you look at the draft one of the manuscript, you may find it a bit messy or confusing without illustrations. I don't have illustrations yet. I just wrote without thinking much. When I reread the draft one yesterday during the day, I actually was worried a bit that my story may sound too personal, and then I started thinking that I should add more stronger words in a few sentences that I need to deliver to the audience. Thankfully, when he read my draft one last night, he really enjoyed the ending. He found it beautiful. He thought the story looked unique. I also let him highlight some sentences that didn't sound natural and clear. This morning, I rewrote the story in the second draft. This is going to be the biggest and the longest illustration project that I've ever done in my life. So I want the concept and the story to be very clear to understand before I have to design the character background layouts, anything related with illustrations. Hello everyone, it is on Monday and I'm going to start a new sketchbook to use only when I work on this project because I don't want to mix other drafts for commissions, Patreon projects or personal projects. I know the process of making my first picture book will be very meaningful. I'll never know how many people actually would like to read it, but I'm sure I can learn so much things from a challenging project like this. And I really hope this experience can create an opportunity. At this point, I'm still fixing writing, but I want to see the story with rough thumbnail sketches. When I drew these thumbnail sketches for the first time as the first draft, I found that it was a bit more difficult than usual, and the drawing process is also much slower. I think the main reason is because I have to illustrate a much longer story. When I work on a Patreon project, I always illustrate with a monthly theme we choose. When I drew a new illustration, I tend to make a story. I always think that's one of the best methods to make a better illustration, and I really enjoy illustrating a story, but I've never needed to draw more than 3 illustrations with a scenery that my audience would expect to see with the same theme, as I'm determined to illustrate at least 32 pages of a story. Lately, I feel more grateful about what we are currently doing on Patreon because it has kept training me making new art pieces with a new monthly theme in a short time frame. It always gives me so many good opportunities to experiment with a new color schemes and to set the background in a new place. I'm so excited to use those experiences for something that I've wanted to do for a long time. Additionally, I'll bring you guys to wonderful places in this book. Hello everyone, it is on Wednesday on 23rd of October 2024. At this point, I finished the rewriting in draft 3. My draft 3 is completely different to originally what I was thinking in draft 1. Basically, there were two main reasons why I had to change. The reason number 1 is because if I want to keep the original story in draft 1, I think it'll be a bit tough to illustrate the transition between the chapters. So yesterday I tried to sort out how I can make it better while I was sketching thumbnail drawings. Actually, when I was drawing the thumbnail sketch, I almost was about to draw every single page, and then I suddenly stopped continuing the process because I felt like I was trying to draw too many detailed ideas on each page, and then I decided to restart drawing thumbnail sketches again, but in a different way. This time I drew only big part of each chapter, and also I added some notes underneath. The process was kind of like building a storyboard. The reason number 2 why the story changed. Originally, there used to be a particular place that I wanted to talk about as a part of the food story. The place that I wanted to talk about in the book was like a street food takeaway restaurant, and they only make toast, like pizza toast, ham cheese toast, egg toast, bacon toast, or something like that. I'm sure it was a food chain, and the chain is still getting stronger. I don't want to mention any specific brands or chain in my art book, so I wanted to call this place a toasty shop. But my partner thought it didn't sound natural but very awkward to call. In his opinion, he wanted to call the place a bakery instead, but when I hear a bakery, it feels like a place where you can get baguette, muffins, cookies, croissant, cake, savory or dessert, not the place making only toast. At the point I realized that this might be hard and confusing to understand for readers, so I decided to remove the part. I'm going to self-publish my picture book. As I said earlier, this will be my first children's book. I don't know how long this project will take, but I'm going to try to film and record my whole process of creating my first children's picture book in videos. I extremely appreciate that you guys decided to click on my channel and watch my videos, and also I want to say that thank you to everyone who's supporting my art over on Patreon. We have a bunch of digital downloads, tutorials in my creative style. I share my project update, sketchbook spreads, and more. If you are interested, please check the link in the down description box. I hope you guys have a wonderful, lovely day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!